guys, as you can see, I have my face done again, and we will put everything that I use in the description. I was kind of thinking for the story today that so often people ask Dion and I, like, oh, how did you guys meet? And like all that stuff, and usually we tell the super like cute story / crazy, like look at how amazing God is, but we never really talk about after we met and how like the whole relationship started. So I kind of thought I would talk about that today. For eyeshadow, we're not going to be doing a super crazy look, but I did want to do an attempt at doing a fun eyeliner look. To get started, as always, I am using the Revlon Photoready Eye Primer and Brightener. I think we have it on manual focus, so I don't think it's going to focus today. Most people by now know that Dion and I met at an internship. I'm not going to go into the details of the internship. This is literally just going to be really silly things that Dion did to try to get my attention. Obviously, it did end up working in the long run, but definitely to start out, it was rough. For eyeshadow, before I get into the good details of the story, I'm going to start out, I'm using, oh my gosh, it is Makeup Revolution London, and the palette is Reloaded Euphoria. This is what it looks like. I'm just using this nude color, which is number 14. But it's the same color as my skin tone, which is really just the important part. You can use whatever you have that matches your skin tone. So I'm going to take it's by e.l.f. It doesn't have a name, but it's just a fluffy blending brush. And I'm going to take that color and put it on my brow bone, bringing it slightly down towards the crease, not into the crease though. Just like this. Okay, anyway, so before we get to this internship, we both find out that there's going to be another intern there. He finds out that it's obviously going to be a female intern. And he's not totally comfortable with that, but it is what it is. I couldn't care less. He told me later on that he was talking to one of his friends from college, and he said, word for word, if she's cute, I'm screwed. And apparently he thinks that my profile picture on Facebook didn't look like me, and so he was like, oh, I'll be fine. Obviously, like, now it doesn't look like me. You know, I'm older. We met, oh my gosh, what day is it today? Oh my gosh, I'm recording this on May 18th. So we met exactly 6 years ago today. Like the day that this is being recorded. Wow, what a perfect story for today. I didn't even realize that. He thinks that my profile picture didn't look like me. I disagree. I think at that point in time, it did look like me. Again, doesn't look like me now. I'm older. It is what it is. The next color I'm going to use comes from NYX Professional Makeup, the Ultimate Edit palette. The name of this one is Brights. There's like another one that they have in the Ultimate Edit line, and the other one that I have by that is called Phoenix, but we're using the Brights one. This is what we're using. We're going to use the color number 5. It's the blue color. And I'm going to be using the e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. I don't know if there's going to be any fallout, so I'm going to show you a trick that I use in case there is fallout. You can just take like a tissue, and I don't want it to be that big. We're going to do this. And just like place it under your eye. Because here's the thing. Blue fallout, even like when you've powdered and everything, is really difficult to brush away, and I'm just not going to deal with that today. So this is what we're doing. So he thought he was safe because he didn't think, based on my profile picture, that he was going to think that I was cute. That didn't work out too well for him. honestly, I actually looked at his profile as well, just because I was curious who he was, but I didn't really think he was cute at that time either, just based on his profile picture. So I guess we both kind of had the same thought. Like, whatever, you know. We're just going to bring this color, like, up towards where that first color we put on was, so that we can blend it out later. Oh my gosh, what was I gonna say? I don't even know. We end up going to the internship. I was there for about a week before he showed up. I had kind of already been, like, getting into, like, the work mode. The place where I was staying was about a 40-ish minute drive, I think, to, like, one of the places where we had to go for the internship. So to get to this other place, I had to drive through, like, one or two of the major cities in this area during rush hour. So that was not exactly enjoyable. For those who don't know, I used to get, like, not the worst road rage in the world, but, like, it was still road rage. Our upstairs neighbor just walked by. I think I'm actually going to blend it out a little bit and kind of go from there. It's, like, the morning after he ends up showing up. He got there, like, pretty late at night, the night of the 17th. The morning of the 18th, I drive to the place where, you know, we have to go do our internship. I'm not a morning person, okay? I genuinely cannot stand mornings. I think they're dumb, and I don't know why anybody willingly chooses to get up early. It's fine. You know what? To each his own, right? I don't personally understand it, but if that's you, you do you. I had to get up not super early, at least not like what most people would consider super early, but it was early for me. I drive through a ridiculous amount of traffic and, like, with really bad drivers and everything, so I'm not happy. I get to this place, and who opens the door to greet me but this random, ridiculously hyper guy that I've never met before. And I'm just like, can you not? It was Dion, in case you didn't catch that. I couldn't handle it at that point. Okay, so that's how this whole thing started. That is literally how our entire relationship started. I'm cranky, I'm not happy. He opens the door, and he's just being his ridiculously hyper self. I'm, like, carrying all this stuff, like, stumbling through the door. I just want to, like, get in, get settled. That's it. And he's just, like, all up in my face, and I'm like, this is not okay. We end up actually clicking pretty well, though, and we work really well together. We become, like, pretty good friends. Like, I just found him really easy to talk to, but, like, I was just interested in being friends, and that was it. Like, I had no other intentions. He showed up thinking, like, oh, I'm not even gonna like this girl anyway. It was pretty chill that first day. Got to know each other, hung out, just kind of, like, talked about life. That's the thing. Like, he was actually very easy to just kind of, like, talk about life with, like, right from the start. Again, like, that was it. I was just like, okay, cool. Like, we're gonna be good friends. We're gonna work really well together. Just using the blending brush, I'm actually going to just kind of, like, drag the color out a little bit, like, from the outer corner. But I don't think I'm gonna add any extra color to it. I think I'm gonna take the blue shadow and I'm gonna actually bring it down onto my bottom lid. We'll see how this goes. This could end up being a disaster, but it's fine. Okay. Whew. All right. Let's go for this. So we end up working together, like, literally every single day. And he does a bunch of just I mean, you know him. He's Dion. He just does ridiculous things. That's the whole reason I can do this series and just talk about how utterly ridiculous he is. But we love him for it, so it's okay. I never caught on to the fact that, like, half these things he was doing were because he liked me. I just thought he was being ridiculous, you know? So I'm just gonna, like, for one example, don't worry, I'll give more, but just one example. There was one Sunday where we had to be greeters at Sunday morning service. You didn't have to get, like, super dressed up, but, like, they expected you to, like, wear, like, your Sunday best sort of a thing. I show up in, like, this really cute dress, ready to, you know, greet people and just be friendly and nice. And he shows up in this super ratty t-shirt and super ratty basketball shorts. And I'm just like, what are you doing? And so I told him, I'm like, you shouldn't be wearing that to greet people with. Like, what are you wearing? I guess another thing you should probably know, this church was 2 campuses. And so this was at the first campus, and then as soon as we were done greeting there, we had to go to the second campus. And he was staying closer to the second campus. I was staying closer to the first campus. So we drive to the second campus, and before people start showing up, he goes to where he was staying to change clothes, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, he's gonna come back. He's gonna look decent. He comes back. Do you want to know what he was wearing? He went and got an entire suit. A whole suit, not just like some nice jeans and like a nice like button up or something. He got a whole suit. Not only was it a whole suit, but this suit was a hand-me-down from his dad. And it was so big on him. Literally, like, think about when, like, you were a child and you wanted to play dress up and, like, you wanted to be, like, your mom or your dad or something. So you would, like, go put on their, like, clothes and, like, their shoes. That's what it made me think of. That is how big the suit was on him. It just, like, it did not fit him at all. It was so baggy on him. And so he comes back, and again, I'm just like, what are you doing? Why did you go put on, like, a whole suit? And he's like, well, you said that we had to look nice. And I'm sitting here thinking that, like, oh, he's being sarcastic. Like, he's being extreme just to make a point. And it's like, no, like, he was genuinely trying. But he was doing that literally because he wanted to impress me. And I just ended up looking at him like he was just this weird kid, and I'm like, why are you doing this? To make matters worse, I don't remember this guy at all, but to this day, Dion remembers this guy. Some guy walked in who I guess ended up thinking was cute. Dion was not happy about it. So, you know, that was fun. I am going to make an attempt to do this eyeliner. I don't know how this is going to work out, but we're going to try it. Dion eventually learned that I am a major foodie. Honestly, not as much as I used to be, but, like, still, at least at that point, like, I loved food so much. And so he went to Aldi. I think it's just Aldi. I always say Aldi's though. He ended up getting a box of like the cheapest frozen burgers that he could find. Okay? He had no idea how to cook or anything. And he tries to grill them. Come to find out, he has no idea how to cook. He has a tendency, even to this day, he is so scared of undercooking things that he always overcooks everything. Oh no! I got a black spot on. Dang it. Oh no, it keeps happening. Okay, pause. I need to fix this. Dang it, what was I saying? He ends up trying to grill these burgers, and he has no idea what he's doing. He ends up burning them to a crisp. And they basically turn into hockey pucks. Just these charred, hard burgers. So he tries feeding one to me. Not like feeding, like putting it like in my mouth, but like giving me one. And I think it's absolutely disgusting. And so to save face, he decides to eat all of them. I feel really bad now that I know, like, oh, he was like trying to impress me. But I was just like, what are you doing? Why are you making me eat this? He also attempted a campfire, which I will tell you about in just a second, but I'm going to try to do a cool thing with my eyeliner, and I've never done this before, so I think I'm gonna need to concentrate on this. Alright, kids, I think that's the best we're gonna get it. Things I've learned from attempting to do graphic eyeliner. It is not forgiving at all. You need to have the steady hands of a surgeon. You need more product on your brush than you think you do. Those are the things that I've learned. I need some black eyeshadow now, though, because I think that may potentially save this look, or it'll make it worse. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going back into the Revolution makeup palette, and I'm going to take the black color, which is number 15. Let's see if we can save this. I'm going to take this on the lower lash line. After the burger incident, to make a campfire in a fire pit that was there. This is where I learned that Dion and fire do not mix well. I was in Girl Scouts, so I know a little bit, you know? And one thing I do know is when you are making a fire, you do not want the things from the fire pit hanging over the side where it can then spread to outside the fire pit, right? This fire pit had not been used in a long time, and so it was completely covered in leaves and sticks and branches and all of that. And Dion kind of looked at it and didn't think like, oh, that's a fire hazard. He looked at it and thought, oh, perfect, there's already stuff in there to make a fire. So instead of clearing things away and actually making it like usable and safe, he just left everything and tried lighting a fire. It was myself and one of my friends who was visiting at that point. We saw what was happening. We saw that the fire literally did start to spread like outside the fire pit. We were like, oh crap. And we ran to put out the fire. Oh my gosh, it was not a good situation. Thankfully, that was the worst that happened with that. Like, the fire didn't end up spreading or anything. Like, everyone was safe. It ended up being okay. I mean, from what I can see on the camera, it doesn't look that great, but I feel like it looks better in person, so it's fine. For mascara, again, as always, I'm using Maybelline The Rocket Volume Express. And also something that I do just because I have it, I've actually been using this waterproof mascara on top of this. And I also use this on my bottom lashes just so that they don't get like gross and smudge throughout the day. This is just a super, super cheap waterproof mascara that I picked up at Giant Eagle. And it's by Rimmel London, and it's literally just called 100% waterproof mascara. I do not recommend this. I don't like it. I literally just picked it up because it was cheap, and I hate spending money. There's no need to do that. I just do it because I have it. It is what it is. Again, you win some, you lose some. Peppermint tea. Before I tell you the next absolutely ridiculous story, I am going to tell you what I'm going to use to contour my face. And as always, I'm using the e.l.f. Fiji palette and the e.l.f. bronzing brush. I actually realized that I hadn't mentioned this at the beginning, but when I first met him, he had like he had grown out his hair and his beard and everything, and like it was very unkempt. And so I think it was literally the first day that I met him, maybe the second, but I'm pretty sure it was the first. He decided that he was going to attempt to give himself a haircut. And so he literally just went into the bathroom, took his buzzer. His hair was like super short, okay? And then in the back, it came up to like halfway up his head. First, his hairline in the back was uneven, and then to attempt to fix it, he ended up just cutting it like halfway up his head. So it was so bad. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like him to start out. Again, we worked well together. We were good friends, but that was about it. Eventually, somewhere down the line, don't really know where or how or why it started, but I actually did end up liking him too, but I was like in denial about it. And I still didn't realize that he liked me. We were watching Touched by an Angel, which is this really old 90s TV show that I was in love with, and actually I still think it was a great show. And it was a Christian TV show. Like, it wasn't scary or anything like that. But we were watching it, and he thought he was being real slick, and he was just, and to be fair, I was still in denial about this whole thing, so I still didn't notice it. But he was like, "Oh, I'm scared, we should hold hands." We ended up holding hands just watching this show, and I was just completely oblivious to all of it. Still did not realize that he liked me. I was still in denial about liking him. Don't know how you can be in denial at that point, but somehow I was. Alright, I am going to use the e.l.f. Baked Highlighter and Blush for both my blush and highlighter. Yeah, I mean, there were just like so many little things. Honestly, I can't even remember all of them. Again, this was 6 years ago to this day now. But it was just like all of these. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh, wait. I have the best one. Okay, let me show you this. Alright, this ring. Of course, you can't see it because it's not focused. Okay, this ring. It was a gift to me on my 18th birthday from one of my sisters. And so I wore this ring all the time. I still wear it all the time. So one day we were just hanging out. We went out and we got Five Guys. We were sitting down like by this river to eat our food. And so he starts like making jokes about how everyone thinks like, oh, we should be dating and all this stuff. Just making like a big joke out of all of it. So I start joking like right along with him. I think he just asked for my ring, and so he got it, and then he like fake proposed to me. And apparently, again, I find out later on, that was his way of saying that he liked me. Okay. Blush and highlighter are done. I have powder all over my desk. I don't know what I want to do for lips. Maybe. Alright, I think I'm just going to keep my lips simple and do Burt's Bees Tinted Lip Balm. Just a very simple color on the lips. Anyway, so he ends up fake proposing to me. And there were just like all of these other little things that he did throughout the summer. I remember one day he was just running around being his absolutely ridiculous self. And I remember sitting there in the grass thinking to myself, oh, he's cute. And I literally stopped myself and was like, ew, where did that come from? And I was in denial about liking him. And so, for the 4th of July, we ended up going to New York City with my family, and he met my extended family. Literally, he was meeting my family, and we were still just like, we don't like each other. What? Like, we went on, like, a little mini date and everything by ourselves, like, left the rest of the family, like, we went and got milkshakes, all that stuff. My camera's about to die, so I'm gonna make this fast. Anyway, like, all this stupid stuff. We go back to my family's place, and it was too late for us to drive back to the internship, so he slept on the couch, I slept in the room with my sister. My sister comes in and she goes, you know it's okay if you like him, right? And I literally said out loud, oh crap, I do like him. Long story short, that's how I realized that I liked him. And then later on, we said we liked each other, and he told me that all of that dumb stuff he did was because he liked me. So this has literally been a thing from the beginning of our relationship. So, good stuff. That is it. That is the makeup look. That is the story. I hope you like it. Sorry the makeup didn't come out that great. But now you understand the dynamics of our relationship. This has been a thing from day one. And it is the anniversary of our meeting, so it could not have come at a more perfect time. Alright, friends. That's it. I'll see you next time. Bye! I totally forgot that I needed to do an inner corner highlight, so really quick, just from the e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette, I used this color Lagoon, and I just put that in the inner corner. Boom. Done.